All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. It's John from Pro Craps here on Casino Gaming TV on a Tuesday, I think it is. It's Trash Day. Trash Day in Linwood, Washington. Good morning. Let's see. We're gonna switch gears a little bit today. I'm gonna revisit one of the monster rolls that we had over the weekend. Just because it's interesting to do and it's fun. There was another one that I think Jen has logged, so we'll do mine today. Jen, I think, logged the 44 roller that Gina had, and I want to break that one down because that one was a little thicker. We talk about the monster rolls being really good, like thickness-wise in terms of payable hits versus not. Mine is actually weird. You're gonna look at when I show you the numbers, and be like, oh god, it wasn't that great. It's 51 rolls, and it wasn't a great payable roll. But it was interesting, I think, for us to break down. So I'm sorry the dogs are out there doing their dog thing. They're 8 o'clock fight, it seems like. It's funny, I feed them right before the show, 8 o'clock, and you'd think they would eat and then calm down, but they eat and they get just charged, man. It's like they're just the opposite of people in that respect. Anyway, let's hop into it here. What's on tap today? We're gonna I want to talk to you a little bit about playing the unbeatable game. Now, craps, as you know, right? All casino games, right? They're not beatable. They're not beatable at all, right? Craps is especially hard because, if you look at a game like blackjack, you put your money up there, you do what you have to do. There's no that's what I'm looking for. There's no strategy to it, right? You play the basic card, or you play Jack Ace, simplified the basic card. Hold on one second. Guys, hey, out of here. Go. Somewhere else. I can't even hear myself talking with them outside the door. But anyway, blackjack, you're going to have your whatever your edge is. Your 2% edge, your 1% edge, your 0.5% edge, depending on what you're playing, basic strategy, or counting cards. There's nothing you can do about it, right? Baccarat, same thing. You've got your built-in edge. You do your thing, and it's what it is. A slot machine, you put your money in the slot, and it tells you if you win or not. With craps and to some extent roulette, you have a chance to put your money wherever you want to. So you have this impression or this feeling that you can beat the game, and you can. Right? Every bet's got a built-in edge to it. It's about where you're putting your money and what the results happen to be. You'll see when I look at my roll here, the 54 roll failure. Just what I mean by that, because you can have the world's greatest outcome, seemingly, and still come to the pray to the altar of the house edge and get killed, right? But it is what it is. We'll talk more about it as we go. Reminder that the Midmo Yo Layla Scholarship Fund is a thing now. On the next screen, I'll show you how to get to that. And we're ramping up Craps for the Cure. So we're get ready for coming to Vegas and hanging out with us and what we're gonna do. If you've got, I'll do more as we go here. But if you got ideas on Craps for the Cure, things you want to see us doing at the tables at Casino Quest, or auction items that you have or want to donate or can think of that we should do, let me know. Put them out there. Drop me an email, john@procraps.net, or jump into Discord and let me know there. So we're getting started. Next week, we'll start doing a little segment every day on the Craps for the Cure. I'm going to get the folks from Vets Moving Forward on with us. They can talk to us a little bit about how that's going to be, what they stand for, how they work, what it takes to raise a dog, all the things we need to know about that charity, so we can get ourselves fired up. So that's coming up. That is coming up. Let's take a look at what's next. The Chiro Celebration of Life is going to be this Saturday. I can't believe it's already here. I still can't believe we're fucking doing this, right? I still can't believe that the guy's not here anymore. The other day in my feed, he came up. Two things about Chiro. One is he came up in my feed. And I think it was because I was searching for Wayland stuff. I was searching for a Wayland video that I'd forgotten what the strategy was. I wanted to try something out. And you know how YouTube is, right? You start finding shit and it starts making your feed more of that thing that you're finding. Well, I went, had lunch, came back, opened my phone up, and the suggested video was the one where Chiro had Wayland on. Remember that, where Chiro had Wayland on? They were debuting a new strategy that they had kind of worked on together. And I remember that because, God, Chiro called me. I'll tell this story too at his celebration. But Chiro called me, and he's like, dude, guess what? I'm like, what? And he's like, Wayland is coming on my show. Fucking Wayland, man. Fucking Wayland. He was so happy. Like, Wayland's coming on my channel. right? He was like so stoked about that. And he's like, what do I, and we talked about it, right? And he's like, what do I ask him? Like, how do I, and like, hey, I said, here's the thing, man. And Waylon, I hope you're out in the audience. I'm gonna out you a little bit here. I love Waylon. Waylon's awesome. I said, Waylon doesn't talk a whole lot. You're gonna have to carry the conversation a little bit and get Waylon kind of talking, right? And you know, and we talked about that, and he's like, okay, and I'm like, just make sure you know when you're dealing, Waylon's going to assume you know what he wants next. You're gonna have to pull it out of him and have him explain what, you know. And he's, oh, this is the best thing for my channel. You know, he was so excited. Anyway, Waylon comes on. It was a great show. Well, that was the recommended video in my list yesterday. I got all teared up. I was like, you know, it figures because, you know, some of us, like I do, I spend a lot of time on thumbnails. I know Jeff does thumbnails, and Alfredo, of course, does thumbnails, and Mark the Point, right? Chiro didn't really do a lot of thumbnail work. Waylon certainly doesn't. Jacob, wait a minute, doesn't do any thumbnail work, but you can look at a video and see that same angle craps table and say, oh, that's Waylon's table, Waylon video. That's Jacob's table. You know, it's a Jacob video. Now you see that yellow diamond studded felt that he's got. You know, that's a Chiro video. Like, you just know that it's Chiro's video when you see the thing. Anyway, that was my suggestion yesterday. It was like, oh man, you know, it brought it all back home again. So anyway, if you wanna be a part of the celebration of Chiro, just send me a video or call me. I will film you, and we'll just do it together. And I'll give it to her. This ugift529.com is the website address. There's your code. It's E8J55V. You just paste in the code of the website. It brings you to a page where you can either create an account or just donate once. Now, it doesn't take credit cards. You put your routing number and your bank information in there, and it just pulls it out of your bank. Trust me, it's safe. It's not. If you send them a check, they also have your routing number and your account number. It's no different, right? It's the exact same thing. That's how they do it. It happens pretty quick. I did a 25-hour test donation yesterday to see how fast it goes through. It's all fine. I've got a couple of people who want to send me money so I can donate to them. We'll do it that way. I'm going to ask you this: if you want to donate to Chiro's thing, to Layla's fund, and I'm talking directly to Jeff and some others, that we take super chats on our shows. Do not super chat us money to go to this, because YouTube takes a big percentage of that, right? If you want $25 to go to Layla, go to the website. There's no fees for this. Your whole $25 goes into her scholarship fund. She gets the whole $25 when she's 18 years old. There's zero fees here, right? That's what a 529 account is. That's what it's for, right? So don't super chat money to us and say, please put that over there. Don't do it. This is 100% to her. So if you want to help, I love the fact that you help. Nemo, do this, please, buddy. Make your thing. Yes, Leon. There's a link for the video drop. Why they're so high? There's a link for the video drop in Discord. In the Mid-Mayo channel, I put a link in there to a Google Drive. You just upload them to the Google Drive, and that's it. It just goes right up there. So, yeah, there's that announcement. Next up, what we have next up? I think we're just going to get into it here, aren't we? Why is my thing not working? There we go. All right, let's break down my roll. I'm gonna go. I think I can do it here. Do I have my? Hold on. I gotta make one quick change here. So I want to use my pen to do this. So give me a second to get the pen loaded. There we go. Okay, so there it is. Okay, let's take a look at my roll. I'm gonna put my glasses on. So sorry for any glasses that we have here. Cool, Mid-Atlantic, that's great. And that's fine, right? We just want to make sure that we're not having YouTube suck up the fees, right? That's the thing. If they want to donate, I would recommend we push it up there directly, because the YouTube takes so damn much money, right? Anyway, here's my monster roll, and let's go through the good, the bad, and the ugly of this roll, because I think it's an interesting case. Okay, here they are. The first one was that 10, 9, 8, 10. The good thing about this first roll here is this. The two inside numbers here, I'm out of the hand. So I was out of the hand. I was out plus $15. Oops, I was out plus 15 bucks at that point. Why 15 bucks? Because I did a skill 66 right there, right? I did 66, I did 76 inside, but I hit the 9 and the 8. Okay. So I go up to, the 9 hit goes to $35 or 30 bucks or 25 bucks. Everything else goes to 4 units. And then we hit the 8, pull down to 44 inside. And I hit my 10, so the pass line wins. So I'm out of the hand. I got 10 bucks or 10 extra dollars from the pass line, which is fantastic, right? So that's good. Roll number 1, I'm happy. Okay. Then we have roll number 2, and roll number 2, again, I'm skill 66. So I'm 44 inside now at this point. And I'm 44 inside, and I'm trying to get spread out, right? When I do 44 inside, my typical way of playing that is either I do a tier pressure where I'm going to full press, and whatever, or I press up a number, get a second hit, and then we go and spread to 4 and 10. That's my next move, to get the 64 across as fast as I can. Well, look at what happened here. Look what happened here. We get a point of 8. I catch a 6 after the 11, right? I don't get another inside hit until here. It took me all those rolls to get a second inside hit. When the 5 finally hit, and the 6 had hit, and the 5 had hit, I said, okay, fine. Now I'm going to grab the 4 and 10. It took me all that way to get to the 4 and 10, and only here on this last 8, right here, did I bring money back. So right now I've got 64 across plus about $25 in the rack. After all that freaking rolling, can you believe that? That's awful. Now in there somewhere, I think is the tall, right? Is the tall in there somewhere? There's a 10, 11, 9, the 8. Yeah, the tall is in there somewhere, right? And it resets itself, of course. So that's where I am, right? I'm not on the ATS, of course. I don't play it. And playing it inside 44, I say this all the time. Like, I love the skill 66. It's great. But 66 to 88 to 44 inside, making 44 inside work is really freaking hard. Okay. And here we are roll 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 rolls in. And I've gotten literally 5 hits in 17 rolls, because the rest of it is the come out roll, bunch of horn numbers and 4s and 10s that I'm not on, which is BS, right? This is why I say, like, the what if, woulda, coulda, shoulda thing. If I had gone from 66 to 88 to 64 across, right, and not been even in those 2 rolls, but $15 invested, then in that case, the difference is, let me erase the screen here. The difference is I would catch this 10, or that 10 would be the first. I would have caught the 10, the 4 in that next set of rolls. I would have caught 2 4s and 2 10s, right? And I'm flipping the 4 and 10. They're both at, well, they both go from 10 to a quarter. The next hit, they go from a quarter to 75. They're both at $75. And when these hits happen here, that's a 150 collect. That's a 150 collect. Here, we go to the 10 again. And here, the final flip happens, right? If I went 64 across instead of 44 in after the first 2 hits. But remember, I started this roll here. I started this roll with $78 to my life. Sorry for the erasing there. $78 was what I had in my rack, right? I had lost on the previous 4 shooters to me. I was down to nothing, so I'm in full recovery. I'm in full, holy crap. That 9 and that 8 there, I was like, okay, whew, I got my money back. I can chill for a minute. Let me just get a couple of another hits and I'm good, right? That's my mindset going into this roll. So did I attack the roll? No, I did not attack the roll. I did not attack the roll until after here. After there, when I finally got the 4 and 10 placed after that second 8, when I hit the point, that's when I went across and I started to do the more, I went to Philly pressure, or not Philly special. I went to tier pressure from that point. And I was double pressing, press, collect, press, collect, and all that. And from there to here, I probably about $900. I forget the exact number that I made, but that was when I got aggressive. When I finally got that roll, I'm like, okay, now I'm across, I got profit. I just don't care. We're just gonna shoot the moon here. I was really feeling pretty good about my shot. But look at the purple. Look at the purple there on that next little sequence, that come out sequence. I think we were trying for the small or something. And it was like, and I set the ones on top like I do, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna get you guys a 2. I'm gonna get you guys a 2. I kept saying I'm gonna get y'all a 2. and I couldn't roll a 2. I'm like, I kept trying and trying. They were all cracking up. Tried like hell to get a 2. And so I got 2 3s in a row, right? And I was trying it up here, right? If you look back at the thing, I was starting to try for it around in here because I knew I had the tall already. I think this 12 got us a tall. I'm like, we're gonna get us a 2. And I set the 1s on top and I got a 3, a 3, a 3. 3 3s in like 5 rolls, right? And then we reset it right here. The ATS gets reset. I'm bummed out. Bummer. The dealers get paid their $30. I don't go up. I don't go back out again. I'm like, I'm 20 rolls in. There's no way I'm going to keep going. I don't go back out again. I start out with an 11 and a 12 right off the bat. 11, 12, 9, right? So the tall is looking great. And I'm like, shit, I should have put 5, 5, 5 out there. But again, at this point, remember where I am in the rack, right? I have my $66 back or my $76 back. And I got about $27 in profit in my rack. That's all I've got to show for this thing, right? If I go from this 27, 5, 5, 5, I'm down to like $12 in the rack profit. That's why I didn't do it. I'm like, I can't really afford to do this. A, I just hit it. B, it's a waste of money. C, what the hell, right? And there's part of the reason why I don't do it. Anyway, then we catch the 11, right? And the 6. And I'm like, oh my God, we had the 12, the 9, the 11, and the 6 already. Right? And like, here we go again, right? And I'm gonna hit the fucking thing. And so of course we do. And then look at the horn sequence here, right? You got, Alfredo was next to me. I think it was Corey, then Alfredo. They were betting the horns like crazy. When I was in here, he was going horn. He was doing world bets all through this whole sequence. These are all world bets that he is destroying on, right? He is making so much money. And I'm like, all those guys that in chat are like, you should be hopping what you're throwing. You should be following the trends. I'm like, I'm not following the damn trends, right? To me, again, I'm a math guy, right? I know the ATS long-term loser. I know the horn is a long-term, not even a long-term, it's a short-term loser, right? I happen to be in a pocket here where I was throwing a bunch of horns and I was actually trying to throw horn numbers. So I probably should have been betting it. Anyway, all those horns happen, right? That's a really bad come out sequence. This is like, look at that come out sequence. That's like all those numbers there, nobody's getting paid on unless you're horn hopping, right? Then we get in and it gets good. Then it gets really good and we start making some money. Look at the end rolls here. Look at this end sequence. All those inside numbers that we hit, right? The last, like you got that 8, 5, 9, 8, 8, 6, 5, 8, 6, 3, 5, 5, 6, 8, right? 9, 5. All those inside numbers. This is like inside town, right? At this point here, this 6 I had hit for like, I think I hit it for 105. I had it up to 105 or 120. I think I hit it at, I hit this 6 for 105. This one here went to 120. We hit that one. That was my biggest, my biggest single bet win was that one. The 8, I think paid 105. I had it up to 105 at that point. So those were a couple of good hits that got us up. It took me a long time to get there, right? Again, if you're looking at this in the rearview mirror, it's very easy to say, you should have been doing X, right? If I'd have bet the roll Philly special style from the first get, and if I'd done what I'm going to show you today, I would have made way more money than I did here, right? I look at a roll like this and I say, how many times does that big roll happen and you're not on it? You're not on the numbers that are rolling. And I have also said, and I think I can argue with a lot of people on this topic here, is it better to do a 6 and 8 and pray, or is it better to go across? What's the better solution here, right? Random results, right? Whether you're setting or not, right? You don't know what's coming, right? Even the best dice setters don't know what's coming. They think that they can get into a slice, right? Of what might come. You don't know what's coming. If you're just gonna 6 and 8 pray versus going across, your mindset is different. When you're going across, you got opportunity to go and crush it. But that opportunity comes at a cost. It comes at a high cost because you're going to be 64, 130, whatever, 96, whatever you're going across, there's a cost to going across. If you had just done it and said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and just be willing to burn $64 per shooter and just shoot it, right? You make way more money on a roll like this. But how many times are you exactly where I was, where it takes you to here, right? This is 17 rolls in before I got 5 freaking payments. 17 rolls, 5 payments. Right? That's a shitty roll in terms of how I bet it. That one says to me, I look at this in the rear view and I go, boy, either I have to just learn how to throw 6s and 8s, learn how to throw them, or bet them all and bet them properly, right? And I've avoided going all the way across until I'm even, but I look at that and I go, that was the blown save right there. And I look at like Rich T's rolls from we did last week from Big AZ's channel. Rich's rolls, I had the same problem. It's a blown save if you're doing 66, 88 and spreading out on the next couple of hits. That becomes a problem for you. So I think going across early might be looking at the better way. Now, if you look at some of the ladder things, now if Waylon was here, right? And again, I don't have the money to ladder. So I don't do a lot of Waylon stuff because I don't have, you know me, right? I don't have an enormous bankroll. I'm not buying in for 2K, right? I'm not. I'm buying in for 500 to 1,000, 750, whatever, right? That's my average, right? My 401G has got about 10 grand in it. I'm not spinning more than $1,000 up, which means I can't do a real 410 ladder. I can't afford to do that correctly. I can't afford to go across and then martingale or ladder. I can't afford to do it. So I have to find ways to work a roll like a bitch, like I say, right? I go in there, I'll take this thing here and I'll work it. But most of the time in craps, folks, you find yourself here. Well, you find yourself, let me get back to you find yourself here, and then the rolls end like 8, 4, 7. Like that's where you find yourself. 6 rolls in, can you get your money and get out? And I think that there's something to be said for how hard this is. And I think that's why I wanted to show you here. So the significant points I want to make are at the bottom here, right? After the 2-hit regression on roll 4, while the puck was on, here's what I had. While the puck was on, 54 rolls here. While the puck was on, 18 inside hits. Okay, 43% of the rolls, 43% of the numbers that rolled after the puck was on were inside numbers. If you add the 4 and 10 to that, the 10 could have got flipped twice with the puck on. There was 6 of them. The 4 could have got flipped once, right? 14% of the rolls were 10s. Almost 10% of the rolls were 4s, okay? After the puck was on. That's all good stuff. So you look at all that, right? There's 18 and 10 is 30 or 26 rolls with the puck on. 26 of the 54 rolls, about half of them were box numbers, all told. Now, I missed out on the 4 and 10 big time, but that's actually higher than what you'd expect. That's more than what we expect to see. There were 41% of those were horns, and 51% of my rolls were fields, which is also higher, right? The field should be way lower than that. So a lot of field numbers thrown. Jen's right. I think she says it in there. The Iron Cross would have been great on this one here. The Iron Cross is cheaper than 64 across, but the Iron Cross, where's my thing? The Iron Cross, let's see, I got to go here. Sorry. The Iron Cross is cheaper than 64 across, but the Iron Cross is also not profitable at that low level. The Iron Cross isn't profitable because the Iron Cross, if you do this the way I see it, you got to go 30, 30, and 25. And 10 in the field. That's the only way the Iron Cross works. You got to go 3 to 1. At minimum, you got to go 2 to 1, right? To get anything out of it, right? So your field wins are $10, right? Your box number wins are going to be $25 up here, right? That's the only way to make that work. And again, you're still out there for 75, 85, 95 bucks. If you do the Iron Cross at 66 or whatever, 51 inside, right? Where you get the 18, 18, and 15, those pay 21 bucks. The field loses 10. You're winning $6 or whatever, 16 bucks. It's not worth it on a profit side to do it at the lower levels. I think you got to get the spread higher. And again, I'm not willing to burn that kind of money, but on this strategy here, this roll here, this was the answer. This, like playing the, if we would have played the Red Cross on this one, the Waylon and John Iron Cross with the don't and the Baccarat on the line, the Baccarat line would have won here. It would have won here over the 8. There, it would have won there. It would have won there and there. You would have had your pass line would have been 25 bucks, parlay win, right? Now it's at 50 bucks, a parlayed win for 100, and now it's at 75 bucks down there, just parlaying the line bet, alone would have made money. And if you're at 125, 150, 150, and 75 in the field, that thing makes $100 on every single roll of the dice, right? So the red cross at those big levels where you're racking $100 on every single roll of the dice, look at this. Every roll, you're getting 18, 6, that's 26 plus 21 fields. So you're getting paid 47 times $100 on that roll. Same betting the whole thing on the red cross, right? But you got to be up to make it worthwhile. If that same 40-something rolls hats and they're all $10 wins or $11 wins, the Iron Cross ends up bleeding it dry, right? It's not as good as you think it is when it's low. You got to get the spread. The Iron Cross works with a good spread. But if you're throwing a lot of fields like this one was, it would work. So anyway, that's an analysis of that roll. It was not a great roll. It was an okay roll for me. 18 inside hits, not enough. Not enough to make money on, big money on. They came late. You look at all the green that came late versus the green that came early, and that's the big difference here. So there it is. That's the that was my roll. So there it is. There's a breakdown of that. Now I'm going to talk to you today about a little thing. We're going to do this low roll and run and gun. And as I said, the problem with 2 hits is this. The problem with 2 hits is it's freaking hard to get, man. It's hard to get them. Here's the averages, by the way, and I can show you this. Yeah, John, here the average. Yeah, the average. It's helpful to get the eventual place bet. If you take the Iron Cross, like I play it, like the Red Cross, where the field bets cover the outsides, you can get there a little quicker for sure. I think that's not a bad. That's why the Red Cross is good. I just think that the low level, the numbers don't make a lot of sense to me. I would rather wait till I have massive money for that. Anyway, here's the numbers, and these numbers are legit. I will actually go to this screen and show you the numbers because it's important to see where we are. So here is. Let's go here. Let's go to the tools, the roll tracker. Oh wait, roll tracker. I got to do the daily paycheck one. Okay, here's my daily paycheck rolls. And this is actuals. So these numbers over here on the right-hand side correspond to the chart on the left. The chart on the left is my morning show rolls, 2,500 rolls, okay? Very, very average, very, very close to what random should be. Here's the numbers. Getting 2 box hits, okay? You have a 64% chance to get 2 box hits in a roll. That's the math. There's no escaping this. You have an 80% probability to have a box number beat a 7. Any box number, 4 through 10, beat a 7. You have an 80% chance of that happening. 80% of 80% is 64%. That's what it is. I actually am a little worse than that, right? 65, I'm a little better than that. 65% of the time, we don't get our box hits. We don't get our 2 inside hits or any box hits. So 65% is what I actually got, or I survived. You are expected to survive 64% of the time, which is not a lot, okay? Getting inside hits is even harder, okay? Inside hits, you'll see here, I got 25 and 19, so whatever the hell that is, 35, 45%, whatever that is, 56% of the time you're gonna survive with 2 inside hits, right? I actually survived on my own throws 1% more than I should have survived, right? This is telling you, if you're doing a skill 66, 56% of the time, I'm gonna circle that for you, 66% of the time, or 56, that's your expected win rate on the skill 66. That means you have a 44% chance of going down on the skill 66. That's exactly what I saw over the weekend, right? A little less than half of the shooters did not get me my second box hit, right? And I'm looking for 2 inside hits. Know that, skill and luck. Know that everybody else, you're playing an inside strategy, 44% of the time you will crash and burn. 44% if you need 2 inside hits, okay? If you need 2 outside hits, it's even worse. Obviously, you're gonna be at 25% of the time you're gonna get 2 4s or 2 10s, or 2 4s or 10s on the outside. It's not very good. So 64% if you're playing an across strategy, you're gonna get 2 hits across. And I think most of the time, I feel like 2 hits, right, is where you don't want to be. This is where you're starting to go, okay, now I can make some money. And right here, you're even. This is where you get even, right here on that 3rd hit, you should be out of your hand. I always say, 2 hits and out, right? But look at that. For an across better, you've only got a 36% chance of getting that to happen. That's amazing, right? To get 2 hits. So across betting, 2 hits, like those drawdowns, you're going to burn about a third of the time. You're going to burn about half the time on inside and the 75% on the outsides. Now, I wanted to know what would happen if I could actually throw the dice, right? If I was actually a good advantage, quote unquote, advantage player, which I don't believe that there is such a thing as an advantage craps player, right? I don't believe that. I think you can work on your dice throws all you want, right? If you even get here, and this is why I say there's no advantage. If you even get to here, let's take a look at this great scenario that I drawn out for us. Let's say you were consistently able to lower the 7s by 1 fewer 7. So 5 out of 36 instead of 6 out. If you were consistently able to do that, which is a lot to ask, right? And at the same time, get 2 extra box hits, which means 1 less horn, 1 less 7, right? 2 more box hits. What does that look like? What does that look like for us? It looks like instead of what you see here, which is the positive outcomes for us, right? On a regular shooter, 6 out of 24, right? That's 6 7s, 24 box numbers. That's 6 7s out of a total 30 outcomes. That's where you get the 80% from. It's 1 out of 5, right? Down here, it's 5 7s, 26 box numbers. Your total bad outcomes is 5 out of 31. Doesn't increase you by a lot here. Matter of fact, it takes you from 80% to 84% probability. Overall probability to beat the 7 on the across bets. 2 box hits, any 2 box hits goes from 64 to 67%. You gain a 3% little advantage there. You get 58 instead of 56, so it's +3 here, it's +2% here, and it's +1% here. That, my friends, is not a lot of money. That's not a lot of stuff. That's an extra hit or so here and there. On a given roll, like the one I was on, you may find yourself in a thicker group of numbers, but this is the actual overtime advantage that a reduction of 1 7 and a gain of 2 box numbers gets you. Let me go back to the other screen here. Let me turn that out. And let's go here. Let me get back to this. There we go. There. Getting an extra 2 extra box hits and 1 less 7 seems like it's a lot, and it's a lot of work to do that. Trust me, it's a lot of work to get that done. The gain that you get from that is a small advantage. It's a 4% movement of the needle, which is not insignificant, but it's also not going to take you to the promised land, right? I think you got to look at this, right? Chart the rolls and go back and look at them. I always like, why do people chart rolls? And I think it's interesting to me, not at the table, to try and follow something I'm seeing, go back and say, well, here's the density of that roll, inside numbers versus out, and where was the density, and what best way to attack these things, right? Again, if you have a bankroll that's unlimited, you can attack things ladder style. If you have an I don't care bankroll, you can just go pedal to the metal and just shoot the moon and go 0 or hero most every time. You got to make that call here, but this is the reality, guys. I'm trying to give you some reality check and what it really looks like. And my morning throws are just a tiny bit, like 1% above the average random. Like what about like the random expectation? I'm just above that, which means I'm random, right? And I'm not even proclaiming to be anything other than that. But even if I wasn't random, I wouldn't be getting enormous spiff on these things. And I think it's an important thing to see. So, with that said, I want to go and go to the table with you, and let's go to the table and play a little bit. Give me a minute here to go back to this view, and how about some light? Put some light on the situation. Where's my light? There it is. Okay, let's do it. Let's play a little bit. And this is not going to be some kind of a, I don't know, what do you call it? Home run strategy. This is not like this. I'm not going to even give this thing a name, right? I'm just going to show you a play style that I think has some interesting talking points to it. Okay, let's go and put this out 64 across first. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to roll like I do. I'm going to roll a couple of dice up here. Let's get some outcomes and try and repeat the outcomes so we can see what the impact on our rack is for 2 different player types. Okay. So first thing, let me just get a point. It'll be a 5. All right, we'll do a 5. I'll get like 5 or 6 hits. I just want to get a little bit of a a look at, and let's ignore sevens for just a minute. I want to just set up a series of rolls here that will give us some outcomes to do some pressing with or some collecting with. And then we'll look at where the 7 may impact us. I'm going to put that up here as there's your one hit and nothing happens, right? 11. Okay, there's a 2. I'm just going to work a series of box results. I'm ignoring the 7s. We'll talk about those later. There's a 5. There's your point getting hit. I'll put it this way here so we can see it more obviously. I want to get like 5 or 6 hits. There's a 9. I'm not getting paid on that. Aces. I'm only rolling the dice just to, I want to just get a random set of number. I don't want to just pick numbers. Let's get the dice to do it for us. There's a 5. We'll make that 9. Once that 9 bet resolves, we'll call it good. There's the 9. Okay, there's the 9. So here's our numbers. Okay. Now again, there was a 7 in there, but we'll cover that later. So set a point of 5. Then we get a 10, a 4. We resolve the point. A 9, an 8, a 5, and a 9. We resolve 2 points. Okay. We can pretend that was a 7 if you want to. I really don't care. But let's just get through this part of it. Let's do the first guy, the way that I have been playing. And again, I like this style of play because I feel like we're safe early, and then I'm praying for something good to happen. So 66 inside player here on the backside sets a point of 5, misses out on the 10, misses out on the 4, gets paid on the 5. So here we are, we're at $21, right, on that payment. And we drop our buck, and now we press. 66 or 64 goes to 88, or 66 goes to 88. Now we're pressed up. The puck is off. It goes to the 9. We catch an 8 right back here. It pays $28. What I always do is I always drop 2, and I say 30 for 2, and down to 44. So they take my $2. They take me down. What they really do is this: they go, here's $44, right? They take that there. I get the rest back, and we spread this out. And now I'm 44 inside, and I've got back in my rack. There's 25. There's 50. There's 65 that I went out with, and there's a tiny bit of profit. Right? I might have miscounted, but that's your skill 66, right? You're back in your rack. Oh, I know, because I had the $2, right? You're back in your rack with $5 in profit. And what I'm saying to myself is, ooh, I get to play again, right? I earned enough money for the next shooter with $5 in profit, and I have a chance. You're saying I have a chance? I got a chance. Okay, that was made on this 8. Then we catch a 5, and again, the 5 is going to pay. Hold on. 15 for 1. 15 for 1. I make it look like 20. And I'm thinking, at this point, I'm thinking on that 5, it's G-Money special time. I go from here, from a $20 base, I go to G-Money, okay? Then we catch a 9, and the same thing happens. We go 15 for 1. It goes to 20. And what have I made so far? I've made this 2. That was the extra money, right? So I made like $12 is what I have in profit from this, right? Those 2 payments brought back a nickel each. And I'd made $5 earlier when I put the $2 out there. So I got $12 in profit out of that roll, right? That's the experience of an inside press and regress player. That's what the skill 66 looks like on a very good roll, right? That's a very good roll right there, right? That's, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rollers, or eight numbers. The guy's gonna set a point and 7 out on the next roll. So let's just say that's where it ends for us, okay? Not bad. Right, but let's put it up there. There's what he made. That's my 6. That's what the experience of a grind is, right? Let's do the same set of rolls though, and let's do it if you're in a cross player. And again, more risk. We know this. There's more risk. But let's take a look at the difference. Then we set a point of 5. We catch a 10. Okay. Now, if I do this aggressive style, okay, where I'm going to look for a double shot to get out of the hand, more thinking. Tier pressure style of play, but really it's about anytime I can get money off the table from a pressed bet, what I'm looking for. So the 10's going to hit, right? It's going to pay $18, right? I go to a quarter. They're going to take $1 for the vig, take my $15 here, and it goes to a quarter right away. I get right up there. The 4 happens, it's the exact same thing. So I'm going to get $2 back and a bet for a quarter. Okay. And again, we're looking for something to happen here. I need to get either something to repeat or I got to get out of the hand some other way. There's a 5. The 5 hits, and again, 15 for 1 on that thing. And again, what I would do here is drop the buck, take the 15, and hammer it. Now you look at your rack virtually. And what do I have out here? Okay, I've got 75 bucks here, 85, 95. Oh, I have an extra 9. Why? That was from before. 85, 95, 105 out here, right? 75, 85, 95, 105. Yeah, 105. I could right now go to 64 across again. I could just say, let's regress right now, right? Or I can wait for the next one. Here's the thing. You're 4 rolls into this guy and you've got nothing really to show for it. The decision gets made here. Is it just after the second hit that you pull your money down? And what I mean by that is this. Let's go back here. I want to rewind this thing. Let's go back to that $10 4 and 10. Okay. You could say 2 hits and I'm done no matter where I am. Okay. If we do that, the 10 hits, and again, it goes to a quarter. The 4 hits and it pays 18 bucks. Right here, you could say, make my 10 look like 10, and I'm going to bring back 30, take this out of the way here, bring back 38 bucks, which is half of my 64. Okay. Bring back half of the money. Cool. So 2 hits, I'm out of half. Okay. Then we can say the 5 hits. I can pull the same move. Okay. Again, it goes to a quarter for one of those dollars. And we're waiting. The 9 gets the point. We catch an 8. 8's going to pay 14 bucks. We'll do 15 for 1. And then I'll put the 5 back down. And now where am I? 50, 60, 2, and I'm back. Okay. I took the 4 hits to get my money back, and I'm still playing at 64 across. That's a way to approach it where you're going to kind of ease into it a little bit, right? Press and collect them both. Press and collect them both. And you're here, right? And you're eased in, you got 64 across. I'm in better shape here than this guy was. This guy had $4 in the rack. This guy here has got all his money back in the rack, right? Plus a couple of bucks. It's different to get across and stay there. Now you can do something a little more, I don't want to say aggressive, but now you can half press or do what you're going to do. It's all about not missing out on these guys, right? The FOMO is real. And the thing about the FOMO being real is that it's real. It's not like you're afraid that you're missing out. You are missing out on stuff, right? So if you're going to say the reason for doing the inside up and down, or the reason for going 64 across is to be set up for a long roll, if that's your reasoning for it, then I think fear of missing out has to be a part of your life. And I hope that I'm explaining that correctly. And what I mean by that is this: if I'm here to turn this into $1,000 on a John roll, on that 51 roller, and I'm here instead, then it's not fear of missing out. It's actually missing out on my goal. I'm giving up numbers that were going to help me out, right? I could easily be here, right? We could have easily gone, 88 inside. Starting 88 inside. Why not? Why not go to 88 right out of the gate and grab, or not 88, let's go to here. Right? Let's go iron cross 24, 24, 20, 48, 68, 78 bucks on the iron cross. Why not just do that and never have to worry about missing out on a thing? Take your 3 hits and get up to the 4 and 10. In this case here, any hit can get you there, right? Here's 1 hit. Right, 28 bucks. Let's just do it like this: 20, 25, $28 on. Well, let's play this roll out like this. There's your 10, right? Your 10 pays you 10 bucks and you grab it. Your 4 pays you 10 bucks and you grab the 4, right? You're out. You're gonna go the 9 and down and down and down, and you've got, again, like before, you got 25, 30, $4. Half of your money's back, essentially, and you're 64 out. That's also a way to approach it, to not miss out on all the numbers. I think that that the numbers that show you how dreadful it is to get your 2 hits should be an eye-opener. But if you're playing for opportunity, you can't miss out here. That was a big mistake for him. When I look at those rolls and analyze the way that I play, which is largely on the inside, where the preponderance of numbers should be rolling. If you're here and here, that missing out is a big deal. It really does impact your ability to make money on the roll. And I think there's nothing wrong, especially when, like Jen was saying this at the table, I think she's 100% right. When you get to here, let's just get up. When you're getting into here, and I was here a number of times, right? I had this set up, 110 inside and like a $10 10 and a $10 4. I'd gotten to that point a few times through presses, right? And I'm here. That's not a bad bet right now. A $10 field just to catch something because, shit, we got a 12 or whatever. Okay, great. You got a 12 that pays, 2 times. Great. 4 and 10 go bump. That's a free bet on the 4 and 10, right? There's a free bet on the 5 and 9 to make those pay 50 for 1, right? Taking those things to enhance what you got up here, or just having that be your kind of like, just kind of scoop it and rack it so you don't feel like you got nothing out of the hand. That's an interesting way of going after you get up in here. But yeah, I think for a low roller that wants opportunity, I think you got to do a couple of things. I think a low roller who wants a chance, you have to approach it in 2 fashions, right? One is, let me get these other bets out of the way. Do you want to get out of the hand and be done with life? A couple of hits across and same bet them. Also not the worst thing you can do, right? Let's take it here. Hit on the 10, pays 18 bucks. Hit on the 4, pays 18 bucks. Turn bets off, right? You beat the odds. You got two hits, right? What's that add up to? That's a 20, 25, 30, 35, 36 bucks, right? And if you're a low roller, you went out there at 64, you made 50% profit on a given shooter, you can be done. But if you're playing for, it depends if you're playing for profit or you're playing for opportunity, right? With a big group of people, like we had for a meetup, you're playing for opportunity. You don't want to sit there and have your bets turned off while there's a huge roll happening, right? So if you're playing for in and out profit, 50% profit's pretty good. And I say that because as a low roller, there's no shame in that. If these bets, if you're a bigger boy, right, and you got, fatter stacks of cash, and you're going to play out here at this level, right, and you're willing to burn 320, which a lot of people are, and it's not terrible, right? 320, here's your 10, right? That pays 100 bucks, same bet. Here's your 4, that pays 100 bucks, same bet. That other player that you just made fun of for making $36 and turning his bets off, this player just made 200 and can turn his bets off. And that's walk home money for me. That's bye-bye, right? If I stayed into it though, right? If I did what I said and pressed them up, right? We don't get our second hit, or maybe we do a tier pressure kind of thing where you press, you catch a 5 and it pays 70 bucks, right? And you press it up to 102. I'll leave the greens out there and you get your 20 bucks back. You set the 9, you catch an 8, that's your 4th hit. That pays 70 bucks and you're done. If you tier pressure it up and just be done for the day, no shame, right? There's your hundreds back. There's your 50 back from the 5, and you've got 200, 300, 325, 340 in those first 4 hits, right? The tier pressure way of doing it at a bigger level, not bad. If you're willing to get out, right? If you're willing to get out, if you want to make your profit and go home, I would do that. If you want to stay opportunity-wise, you do this and you stay playing, and you got to be okay with the fact that you got a miracle. Getting your money back on an across bet is a miracle. You're probably going to burn what's out here, right? You're not going to get the John Monster. You're going to get 4, 5, 6 hits and you're done. So if you can get to this point in 3 or 4 hits and you want to burn what's left, you got to be okay with burning what's left. I think that's the difference, I think, between what happened to a lot of us over the weekend and a lot of people that I watch play. versus what I do normally. My normal gameplay is this. My normal gameplay is bye-bye, right? I want to get gone. I want to take my 320 back to my rack. I want to take this 350 and go home with it, right? That's what I would rather do. But if you're looking for the home run opportunity, you got to be willing to say, well, I'm going to burn this 320 that was out here, which means my profit technically is 20 bucks because I've got 1, 2, 3, 20. Are you okay with making 20 bucks on that shooter after surviving a miracle of 4 hits for the sake of opportunity? And this, I think, is why we call it the elephant graveyard, because most of us make the decision. Oh my God, come on, John. Most of us make the decision to say, well, we did it. We got out of the hand. We got a tiny bit of profit, and we have a chance. We have a chance to make a fortune. The chance to make a fortune will cost you 320 almost every single time. It'll cost you whatever this is out here almost every time. You're looking at that being your actual profit most of the time. You're going to take your 2, 3 hits and down. The excess little tiny bit that didn't cover your out is what you're going to be profiting with. The next shooter comes, right? You go back out 320 and they PSO, and now you're out you're not profiting 20, you're out 300 now, right? That math right there is tough to swallow. And I think that's why I want the low rollers here to understand what that looks like. If you can put 320 out there and not care about it, like I know people who can, then it doesn't matter. Then what I'm saying to you is a bunch of crap. If you can afford to burn it, go for opportunity. If you can't afford to burn it, you got to be careful. If you're going to be careful, you got to decide what your opportunity level is, if you want it, or are you just going to be okay with taking that money and running? Because it's hard to make money on these rolls. So anyway, that's it. I think, again, for my money, knowing how hard it is to get 2, I like a strategy where I can get 2 hits and get out quicker, but I appreciate the 4 hits and having the chance to keep playing. I think that there's merit to both. And if you can catch the outsides and not burn them like I did on my roll, that was an eye-opener, right? Going 44 instead of 64 across. Again, if I had more money in the rack, I probably would have done it. But that's a huge missed opportunity right there. And I think that's the thing that we can. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, I see. Come back here to the other screen. 1 second here. It's that one. I see Jen is saying that she will circulate the rolls. What I'm going to do, by the way, is I'm going to take those. You're going to send them to me, Jen. I'll add the rolls in that you missed from Corey and that when you guys weren't there, and I can put a what do you call it? A file together, and I'll put them into the roll tracker. So if I go to here, I'll put them here. I'll make a new roll tracker and drop them in, and we can see what this looked like. I can also put them into win craps for us too. So if you guys want, we can have a win craps session with our rolls from that weekend and play these strategies with it. But I think it's important. Again, I gotta go a little bit forward here because I want to make sure I cover this. When we're actually, you know what, let's do this first. Let's go. No, I'm gonna make my statement now. It's critically important, I think, to know your goal. And I think that's what I was getting at today. If your goal is to make money, right? Making money in any size is okay. And what I mean by that is 66 to 88 and all the way down is $50 in profit. 64 across, tier pressure with 4 hits or 1 number of repeats, that 100% of the time doubles your money. So if you went 64 across, it makes 64 bucks. If you're willing to come down, you've got 100% profit on a given shooter, okay? If your goal is to make money on the regular and you happen to do what you see right here on screen, I'm putting this way up here, right there. It's hard to make this work, but there. Why can't I do this? There. When you beat the miracle, right? When you get and you survive 65% of the time, you make that 50 bucks. When you know that 35% of the time you're going to lose the whole thing, right? If you survive today, get the hell out of there. If you're looking to get out, then get out. If you survive twice, it's a total miracle. You really got to get out. I went the wrong way. Really got to get out. You got to know that's your goal. If your goal is to be like JB or somebody else who's like, I'm just going to put it out there. We're going to have that monster roll happens almost every day. I see a roll like that every time I go to the casino. I see a 40+ roller every time I go. Am I betting it all the time? No. Have I walked up to the table as it's happening? Yes. The other night, or when I misset it yesterday when Alfredo hit his all, I walked up after he'd already hit the tall. That's why I didn't remember it. But I walk into a table that roll's happening on. It happens all the time, right? It's not like it's that rare. But the getting to the monster is where the pain that you see here is on the screen. Getting to the monster is hurtful. So if you can beat it, right? You're looking to get out, right? You know, and I've said this before, you string together all of your sessions, it's a lifetime of play. You're going to have, you know, 5 straight days, 5 straight sessions where you don't get it, 2 where you do. They may be today, it may be across 5 weekends, but it's still the same experience for you. Just have a goal. That's the big thing is know what your goal is, right? My goal this weekend was to keep playing. I'll be honest with you. My goal this weekend was, if we happen to get one, great, I'm going to make money on it, which I did. But my real goal was to buy in and keep winning enough money with the first money that I bought in with to play the entire weekend and not have to go to the ATM machine. That goal was accomplished. I used the same money the entire time. I did burn it at the end. The last session was the worst one for me, but my goal was to play the entire time and not have to dip in. I never dipped in, right? That was my goal. My goal was not to walk out of there with a paycheck. It wasn't to walk out of there with 10K. It was to get through the weekend, right? And so mission accomplished. All right, that's it. Let's see. The 5 count is no God. Oh God, no, Jen, no. The 5 count you'll never play. The problem with the 5 count is that you'll never get to play, right? You wait so long to get into these hands. I get it, right? The fear of those early outs, but the longer you get into it, when you're on roll 6, you're way more likely. I hate to say you're getting close to a 7, but you're more likely for the roll to end, right? You're at that point, you're not looking for one hit. You're looking for, if you're a 5 count player and you're going to come in on the roll number 6 and try and get your hit, now you're asking the shooter to beat the 7 6 times for you to get your money, where you could have been done earlier, right? I understand the allure of that. Mathematically, it's not very good. Not very good. You're asking the shooter to do way too much in that case. You're asking to beat probability by a lot more than you should. The 5 count, looking for the roll 6 to win. It's like I said, you're looking for. You're getting into this territory. I'm going to show you where you are. Let me just show you. Since I have the ability to do it, let me show you where you're at. I'm going to do all rolls. This is going to be all box numbers. If you're a 5 count player, okay, let's get to the drawing. There's roll 1 after the points made. There's roll 2. There's roll 3. There's roll 4. There's roll 5. Okay, so you're asking the shooter to do all this. Now you're going to go in here on that roll. Look at how unlikely that is. You're at 20, 37, 47, 50, 57. Here you're at 62% of the time. You won't even get a bet on the table. Okay, and then that leaves you with only 38%. 38% chance that you might get one hit after that. That's really tough. The 5 count is really, really, really upside down for you. Really upside down to get there. That's a tough sled right there. Yeah, this 38% right here. You're 60% of the time you don't get to the 5. You don't get to the 5th roll. That's a brutal thing. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. Actually, 38%. Yeah, 38% of the time you get to this 5th roll. This is actually wrong. This is actually 28% because there's 10% here. 38% of the time you get to make a bet, and then only after that 28% of the time you actually see a win. That's really a bitch. That's really a bitch. I would advocate that's one of the worst things I think anybody's ever thought of is the 5 count. Please don't do that. I understand the impulse for the sacrificial roll to get out of it because you're worried about that. But mathematically speaking, the 5 count does not make any sense. It's just, you're asking the shooter to overperform so much to get one bet to win. It doesn't, to me, I don't get there. I can't get you there. So, yeah, it would have helped you. Like I said, it would have helped you not lose those bets, but you're never going to win playing that way. That's the point of it. If you're here to win, the 5 count's not your way. If you're here not to lose, the 5 count will work. I think that's the way to state that. But I don't know, man. To me, it's just one of those things where it just doesn't pencil out for me financially. So, all right, let's move ahead. I have a couple more things to talk about before we get. It's actually past 9 o'clock. Shit, guys, I'm so sorry. Let's go here real quick. The Molly is we won yesterday, so we're 7 and I didn't put the update in. We're 8-3 now. With the little tiny win yesterday. Got lucky. Yesterday I rolled like 5 6s in a row and we got out of the hand super quick. I'll be up there in about 5 minutes to kind of repeat that. Hopefully we'll repeat that and get it done. The rest of today looks like this. We got me at 9 o'clock. We got, oh man, I'm so wrong. I didn't update the thing. What happened? I thought I did. Let me go here. Sorry. Let me go here. Jeez, John, come on. What am I doing here? There we go. Let's look at our schedule because the schedule that's on the screen there is wrong. So if I do this, Beetle Bay is not happening today. The actual schedule is this. There's us. We have, it looks like Mac is going live at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern for D8 table. We have AZ with Yahtzee, Demon Dog Yahtzee at 7 o'clock. And that's it that I can see. Nobody else is going. There's only 2 shows today? Really? Wow. You guys all get to go take a nap. So there's what's on tap for the rest of the day. And let's just hit the final questions. If there are any questions here, let me do a little PC search. PC. Okay, not a lot of comments. It looks like. Let's see. Iron Cross cheaper. Iron Cross not cheaper than it. We talked about this already. The Iron Cross. You got to go at least 2 to 1. At least 2 to 1, ideally 3 to 1 to make it work. Make sure you know that. That's for sure thing. I did the 4 and 10, but after I got the second hit, I went in that second shooter where I had the 5 and the 6 and the 8. I think after the second one, I grabbed 4 and 10, but I missed the first ones, which is a shame. It really is a shame. And yeah, Waylon, I said it without you saying it, but the Red Cross, man, the Red Cross would have made a fortune on that roll yesterday on my big roll. And Jen wants to know if I did Gina's roll. You did not send me Gina's roll, I don't think. I got a picture of a bunch of rolls. I don't know if it's probably in that list. If it's in that list, I'll break it out. But if you got a spreadsheet, it may just be the easier way to do it. So, okay, I think that's all of the questions and comments. I think we can be done. Again, my final thought, theme of the week, have your goal, right? And have your goal and know the numbers. Have your goal and know the numbers. Know how hard it is to get 2, 3, or 4 hits, right? The inside press and pull, great. It's, again, tough to get there. You got a 40% chance of not getting there, right? Which is eye-opening. And when you get there, you don't have enough money to play with, right? That's why I'm more looking at the across thing. That's why I like the 130. I showed you all the 130 last week where it's like a 110 inside and a $10 4 and 10. The intent there is to get the inside out of the hand thing going, but also not missing out the 4 and 10. I would have done that if I had it in my rack, right? We had gotten our ass kicked so bad. When your rack is low, you got to make different decisions, right? So that was the thing. Being underfunded is a tough way to play too. Don't forget that. So play within your means is another thing, right? Play within your means. Being underfunded is hard. You feel limited, and I felt limited 4 or 5 different times. We had gotten thumped, and I was limited with what I could do. So anyway, there it is. That's my truth serum and my honesty coming out, right? I know I did not have the best week of betting this week for sure. I did not have the best week in betting. I had a couple of good rolls. I experienced some good rolls, but I was underfunded at the time that they came, and it's unfortunate. So that's why I say know your goal, follow your heart, do your thing. Love you guys. I'll see you up there for coffee and crack or for a daily paycheck in about 5-10 minutes. Bye all. Let's go here.